Python has the ability to graph scatter plots using the matplotlib library. So the way that I'm going to do that is I'm first going to import a CSV file that I've already created. So I'm going to upload from my desktop this height to arm span. So when I open this file, we can see that it is a CSV file, which the first column, like a spreadsheet, is height in inches, and then the second column is arm span in inches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to import the matplotlib library and the pyplot module as the object plt. I'm also going to import the CSV library. So what I'm going to do is going to create a list called data, and then with the open function, I'm going to open the height to arm span CSV file, and then I'm going to read as a file, and I'm going to do that by saying CSV file CSV and I'm going to use a for loop. So every row that's read out of that file, CSV file object, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my data list and append what comes out of that row. So if I want to double check, which is always a good idea to double check, maybe I'm going to go ahead and print out that data list to see what's in there. And oop. Let me just rename this to just height to arm span. Height to arm span. Let's see, I might have another problem, but well, it would help if I could spell. Sorry, there's a little extra noise going on. There's some, I think, construction going on upstairs. So there it is. It's printed it out. It's in there, so it's always a good idea to go and double check. So I'm also going to use GHT, trying to talk and type at the same time, list comprehension, in order to be able to get things out of this dictionary into lists. So I have a list of dictionaries. So I want to be able to get each element out of that and put it into its own list. So the way I'm doing that is I'm going to say height, and then everything that is a height for X in data. I'm going to do the same thing for the arm span. Again, using list comprehension, I'm going to say X. I can reuse X because of the scope of that X is only in that list comprehension. So basically using list comprehension twice to come up with two lists. So again, it's a good idea to double check to make sure what you got is what you think you have. It makes debugging easier. To kind of check things as you go instead of just kind of crossing your fingers and hope it works out. So there I have it. So there is my list of dictionaries. And then here is my list I created where I pulled out the individual values. And if you painstakingly go through and double check, you'll see that those values do work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually create a scatter plot with my data. So I've got basically X values and Y values. And all I have to do now is take my pyplot object and say I want to plot. One thing I'm going to plot is I'm going to plot the height list to the arm span list. And I'm going to use this last parameter, CO, which signifies I just want the data and not a line segment that connects the values in the data, so I can see it as a scatter plot. So now when I run this, what happens is I get a scatter plot of all the data that we just had in those lists.